So we have the Rock Hill Adidas event going on right now, one of the bigger summer AAU events in prep basketball. And there was a lot of movement, a lot of big name coaches in the gym for this. It's always fun to track who the coaches are paying attention to because there's a bunch of games going on at once, and you can kind of get a sense of recruiting priorities based on who they're paying attention to, where they flock to at a certain point. From a lot of the big accounts that I follow who are in attendance for this, it sounds like one of the biggest names that everyone was really focused on was none other than Arafan Diane, 7'1" center for Iowa Prep in the class of 2026. He's up to the 15th rated player in the country, the number one center in the sport per 24/7. And we saw a bunch of different huge accounts covering who was watching him because everybody was watching him. Mark Pope, John Calipari, Darren DeVries, Tom Izzo, Brad Underwood were all courtside making sure that they watched Iowa United in action so they could see Dion. He's really good. We've talked about him before on this program. I know Kentucky's been swooping in trying to be involved. And as friend of the program, Jacob Polachek reports, there's a very unique connection for Arafan Dion right now in Kentucky. Iowa United's coach, Damon Archibald, that's his AAU coach right now at the event they're at right now. That's Mark Pope's brother-in-law. Mark Pope's brother-in-law is the number one center in the class of 2026's AAU coach at the event that everyone is watching right now. Broadly, Dion, this is your first time talking Arafan, I believe, on this channel. So give me your thoughts on his game and then his recruitment in general.
Monster. 7 foot, 300 pounds, moves well in transition, defends the rim well. Only thing he could work on, he catches the ball low, keeps it low a lot. That's the thing a lot of 7-footers do at a young age, though. It can get you ripped a little bit. I think he'll figure that out. Um, how did he wind up on Iowa United Prep? Like how did that happen?
So he's still pretty nationally underrated, I would say. Like 24/7 is really the only site that I've seen rank him this high. Per the composite, he's 73rd nationally. I think there's a couple other recruiting services. I don't have them in front of me right now that I know had him like in the 30s at highest. So I think he's been a little bit of a late riser still, more considered a true four-star than the consensus best center in the class. But I think it's only a matter of time that we get there because he's just flat out bigger than everybody he plays against, and he plays like it too, you know?
Yeah, I mean, he knows how to use his size, and when you're that big, that's the biggest thing, right? There's a lot of 7-footers where it's like, do they know they're 7 foot? There's a lot of 300-pound guys. Do they know they're 300 pounds? He's a combination of both, and he knows it. I think it's important in this recruitment. He's playing for Marcus Pope's brother-in-law, like you said. There's a gaping hole at Kentucky's front court next year. There's a lot of stuff that makes sense there. Um, I think he could use playing for Mark Pope too, by the way. The most raw portion of his game is offensively. Mark Pope's an offensive genius. I think he could use it.
It's an interesting offer or fit in terms of Kentucky and Mark Pope, right? Obviously, you've got the personal connection, so you got to pursue it. It's the best center in the country. Let's do it. But there are clips of Arafan hitting some shots, stepping outside a little bit. I think there might be some shooting upside. I haven't seen much handle or passing, anything that would require like real decision making. Like if he's left open, he can catch and shoot a jumper. If he's down low, he can brute force through you for a bucket. He can catch a lob and dunk on your head. The processing is the thing I feel like is missing. Now maybe I'm wrong on that. I haven't seen full game action in person yet. I haven't been at these AAU events. I'm just going off the highlights and the film I've been able to see. But Kentucky or Mark Pope offense, right? You need a center who can pass. That's been the whole sell. That's why they have Jaden Quaintance now. Amari Williams was a huge deal for them last year because you run a lot of action through your center on the perimeter making decisions. And to me, from what I've seen from Dion, that wouldn't be super comfortable for him. So I don't know what it would look like. Like I'm sure Mark Pope would make him look good, but you might have to use him differently than the previous centers that you've used. Today's video is sponsored by LabCorp On Demand. Car, do you take care of yourself?
I try my best to, yeah.
Like not just treat yourself to expensive meals, but like you go to the doctor and things like that?
No, I just take care of myself. There's no need to go to the doctor unless I'm not taking care of myself, right?
Are you afraid of the doctor, Cart?
Just a little bit. I mean, if nothing's wrong, why would I go there?
Listen, I'm the same way, and so are millions of men across America. But that's why LabCorp On Demand is helping millions of people like us. With their men's health test, you can get a comprehensive look at your hormone levels, your total testosterone, and you don't even have to go to the doctor. It's easy, and you get the results the next day.
Testosterone, is that is that a big thing?
It's a really important thing, Cart. Sometimes you can feel off without even knowing something's wrong. But LabCorp On Demand wants to keep you healthy and wants to make it as easy as possible. Right now, you can get 20% off your men's health test by visiting our sponsor at tryelco.com/sleepersmedia. It's simple, affordable, and honestly, it's empowering to know that you're healthy and have this info about your body.
Didn't know that testosterone did all those things. I'm gonna have to take the guesswork out of this and go get my health checked out today using LabCorp On Demand.
Agreed, agreed. I mean, but that's what makes Mark Pope a genius, though. I believe he coaches to the group he has. He doesn't make the group conform to what he does necessarily. And I think you see different versions of Mark Pope in November, December, January as he learns his group. You know, we started last year with Otega Owe, basically like a 3-and-D guy. I became enamored with the idea of him as a 3-and-D guy. I still think that's the best role for him. But then a bunch of injuries happened, and Mark Pope said, "No, the ball's going in your hands, man. Like this is now your offense." And we saw him shine in that. And I think Mark Pope can figure it out with anybody, and he's kind of shown his willingness to adapt to the group that he's coaching.
For what it's worth, at least one scout does think he is really good at the area I'm saying I haven't seen a lot of. Ben Pfeiffer had a video of all his passing put together back in May and said Dion processes the floor impressively well for a true 7 foot, 250 plus pound center. So I don't know. Maybe that's just something I've been unfamiliar with that Mark Pope knows and could absolutely unlock and gravitate toward. There isn't a better coach in the country for trying to get front court passing out of a center than Mark Pope. Brad Underwood's the other interesting one. Illinois offered, I want to say, a little over a month ago, and I think that's when we first covered it on the channel. Underwood sitting courtside at this event. He's putting in, priority type level relationship stuff here with Dion, and trying to go toe to toe with Cal, with now Tom Izzo, who is entering this recruitment seemingly as well. I think that's the first time Michigan State's been named. So I think there's an obvious case study for Brad Underwood here. Kofi Coburn. Like now, again, you just lost a center saying he didn't want to be Kofi Coburn, but I would think the 7'1", 260-pound guy would be comfortable being compared to Kofi Coburn, and Brad Underwood could point to that, right?
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think that's a good. But Kofi didn't pass the way Dion like allegedly can pass, though, right?
Kofi did not have that at all. But again, to me, I'm a little more skeptical of that, even though there's some film on it, you know?
That's fair. That's fair. I think it's more likely Brad Underwood would build an offense around him than Mark Pope would. But I do think Mark Pope would get him in positions to show his strengths off in that same light, though.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Um, is anyone going to be able to overcome the brother-in-law thing here? Like, how much does that matter to you?
A lot. I think if Mark Pope wants something, I think he gets it. And I
Yeah.
kind of think that's where we're at with it. And to be fair, Pat Kelsey isn't far off, but I think it just in a recruiting battle of Brad Underwood and Mark Pope, Brad Underwood is maybe the best pivoter, I think, in college basketball, but he loses a lot of recruiting battles and he has to pivot off what his initial plan is. And he pivots phenomenally. He did it this offseason. I think he has a great team that he's been able to build. Mark Pope doesn't necessarily have to pivot. And when he pivots, it's because he wants to, not because someone else is making him pivot.
Yeah. Do you think Brad Underwood thinks that Arafan is international? Do you think he thinks he's like French? It's got to be part of it, right? Honestly, Dion, it's just good to see Tom Izzo out there again, too. I know it's been a while since he's recruited anyone. So,
No, I'm proud of Izzo. He realized that like it's a job that is year round. He doesn't get to have an off season. Like he doesn't get to go to Europe. I'm proud of him. I'm also proud of Brad. He's sitting there. He's like, yo, the Ivisic brothers. Like eventually they're not going to play for me.
yeah, I mean, it's been years since I've seen Tom Izzo target an actual good center. So I think I was in college the last time that happened. So this is exciting. Yeah.
Who was the setter?
No, I was post Xavier Tillman. Xavier Tillman was pretty good. Since Tillman, yeah, like no disrespect to the Marcus Binghams of the world, but doesn't really feel like center's been much of a priority for Tom Izzo. So I will like genuinely, I'm making jokes about it, but as a Michigan fan, I was like, oh no. Tom decided he wants a good center again. This is not exciting to me. We'll see. We'll have more coverage of Arafan Diane's recruitment as it continues to unwind. This video is brought to you by NBA 2KLab.com. 2K Lab worked with us last summer as well. And they're one of our favorite entities in all of sports gaming. We want to show you their college basketball stadium locator challenge game. And I'm going to share a screen right now as we do this. South Carolina, bang. Okay, that's pretty good. Next, North Carolina. Why are we only getting the Carolinas?
Please
Bang.
lock in.
St. John's, that's New York.
New York.
Bang.
Where's New Jersey?
We're on fire. Colorado. I actually don't know what state Colorado
is. It's in Colorado. There's a state of Colorado.
Is that this one?
It's to the right of Phoenix.
Anyway, you get the picture. This game's really fun. They've got more games as well, like Guess the NBA Player, Mystery Fantasy Draft, and more. Stay tuned for all of the college football content and games that they'll be putting together to help you get the best experience out of college football 26. Back to the video.